Week on Cartoon Dumpster Dive, we cover the pilot, Robin and the Dreamweavers. Joel.
Yes, Andrew.
The term out of left field gets thrown around a lot lately.
I agree, yeah.
This entire concept of a show, it is immediately out of pocket.
Yeah,
I to the point where as I'm watching it, I'm like, who is this for?
dude, it is this movie. I call it a movie or whatever it is, just a pilot of this thing. It is bananas. I literally started watching this thinking, okay, this is just for kids.
Yeah.
And it's like every 10 minutes, they are just like upping the ante. And I'm like, what is going on in this thing?
But it's still got like the cadences of old, like an early 2000s cartoon.
It's so wild.
So this is a request.
Okay.
It's a request and an apology from me to, from Kirsten ID. I suppose I said her last name wrong the last time.
Kristen?
No, ID.
No, the first name.
Yeah, Kirsten. Kirster. Yeah, fuck. I've already fucked this up.
Is it
so
Kirsten
bad.
or Kristen?
No, it's Krister. Kirster ID. She should have done both names. Maybe we got it first.
Sorry.
She requested Star Street first.
Okay.
And she gave me a long email that I kind of skimmed. I just got Star Street and I told you Star Street, but there was more to it. But she goes, Robin and the Dream. This is her email from this one. Robin and the Dreamweavers. Hey, I just wanted to say that I enjoyed the episode on Star Street I suggested, but I regret adding a few paragraphs to my suggestion that looks like you missed, partially because they included some info dumping about the more obscure Star Street knowledge. Quincy Jones apparently trying to seek the use of the Star Street love theme is a doozy, and I know this because thanks to composed sound director Joss Van Wunderberg, this very distinguished cartoon has the most informative and well-preserved presented YouTube soundtrack uploads of any cartoon. But also because I brought up much more delirious bad oddity from Star Street co-creator Renz Bernick, Robin and the Dreamweavers, a Lou Schimmer produced pilot for an adult cartoon that was never made. I'll leave the rest for you to discover. It's unbelievably ill-advised in some very self-evident ways, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts on it. So I'm sorry that we did not add the things from Star Street. So I thought we could do it. Oh yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Kirster, that I did not read your email with the attention that it deserved. But I am not a strong reader, so you can just blame it on me being a dum-dum. But yes, we are covering Robin in the Dreamweavers. So not much of a theme song to review.
Not really one at all, honestly.
Because it never. So I assume that it would have gotten one if the pilot ever got picked up. So, Joel, how did this show get made?
So you've basically already said it, or Kirster.
I'm
She's
so gonna never listen to this show again.
She won't.
or he, I don't know.
They,
sorry.
They've already, Christo's already explained most of this. It was a Dutch film made by Lou Schimmer 10 years after Filmation disbanded. He was like co-creator of the company Filmation. They broke up, basically. And 10 years later, a Dutch investment company called Dreamweavers reached out to have him produce a animated series for young adults. Remember this, young adults.
Okay.
Based off of a off-killer Dutchman's renderings. Who is this Dutchman? It's Rens Bennerik. He is the guy who also made the Store Kids.
Okay, yeah.
So he made Robin and the Dreamweavers loosely, I guess. They got Lou to come in, produce it, and he then basically ended up going into basically, I like to think this show killed him or ended his career.
No.
It didn't actually kill him, but basically he then ended up having to get like a triple bypass surgery.
Oh, geez. So it might have.
Yeah, but this show or this pilot is crazy. It is bananas, off the wall. It blows my mind that the guy who made the Store Kids was also like created this.
That's a Dutchman for you. Lou also is responsible for a lot of really good stuff, like He-Man, Masters of the Universe, The New Adventures of Zorro, Fat Albert, depending on how you feel about Bill Cosby.
Well, you gotta think Filmation.
Oh, he did Brave Star.
Dude, Filmation back in the 80s was huge.
That's true. He's got a lot. He has a very accomplished career of mostly successful animated series.
Yep. I mean, going all the way back into the 60s.
Yeah, DC Comics, they approached Filmation to make the New Adventures of Superman. Yeah. And that was the sequel to the radio show.
God, crazy.
So after Lou Schlimmer passed away, the gallery at the Toonseum, a museum of comic and cartoons and art in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is named in his honor. So he did have a huge impact on the world of animation as a whole. Yep. So honor well received. It's a shame that this was one of his last, I guess, credited works.
Yep. But that's really it, Andrew. You really can't find much on this, but if you want to go ahead and hit us with the voice actors, then we can really dive into this show.
All right. So the voice cast for Robin and the Dreamweavers is Janice Jodd is Flint, Scott McNeil is Sass, Short Goon, Black-Haired Punk, Pauline Newstone is Brenda Plump, Triple X, Brenda Plump and Triple X, by the way. Robert O. Smith is Nelson Orla and Creep.
Okay.
French Tickner is Dr. Riedenhoner.
All right.
Lee Talker is Randy. Kathy Westlook is Robin in Notion. Kathleen Barr is Frass and Anchorwoman. And Paul Dobson is Reed Stokes, Tall Goon, white-haired scientist, nose-pierced punk, and mohawk long.
So though flexing their, well, I guess you could say flexing their muscles.
Yeah, some of them are, some of them aren't.
Yeah.
For their other works, we have Kathleen Barr is Dot Matrix in Reboot. Paul Dobson is Naraku in Inuyasha.
Ooh.
Janice Jod is Pinkie Pie in My Little Pony, Pinkie Pie's Party. The original one, not the creepy brony one. Scott McNeil is Rat Trap in Beast Wars Transformers, and Logan in X-Men Evolution, aka Wolverine. Polly Newstone is Hecka in Mummies Alive. Robert O. Smith is Gemma Satomi in Ranma 1/2 or Ranma Half.
Ranma Half.
Okay. French Tickner is the judge in Double Jeopardy. Lee Tucker is Dr. Frog in the League of Super Evil. We'll cover that someday. I love that show, but nobody knows anything about it. And finally, Kathy Westluck is Spike in My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic.
Ooh.
That's the brony one for those of us playing at home. So, okay. All right. When I got the second suggestion that the creator of Star Street made another show called Robin in the Dreamweavers, I thought we were going to have another cutesy musical, like little girl animation thing. And I was very, very wrong.
It's funny because it starts out with a very... It kind of starts out with that feeling. Yeah. That you are just watching another show made for kids. This one's going to be a little bit more action-packed.
Yeah.
But you're still thinking, okay, this is for kids. And it's like they just keep dropping along the way these little like nuggets where you're just like, wait a minute, is this for kids? It feels like it's for kids.
And then the main villain shows up. And you're like, this is not for children. The leather-clad dominatrix villain, Triple X.
Not to be confused with old Vin Diesel Triple X.
Or Ice Cube. He was a Triple X,
He was.
So, here's the synopsis of the show, and the long and dirty, and we'll get into it more. Robin is a cyber baby.
Yeah.
She is the first living being that can travel to and from cyberspace without the need of a helmet.
Yeah.
Or VR. So they basically... I don't know why she's so important. It's like
just that connection between
in the future we have in this future we really thought the internet was going to be more than what we got.
Yeah.
Before, because like I love these shows because they're like you put on. I mean, they made VR chat. That's what the first thing I thought of.
Yeah,
because they go into a virtual reality, and I remember the character Brenda Plump is like, everything you feel in the virtual world, you feel here, like drinking and smoking and even sex. And then Brenda Plump grabs her titties a lot in this.
She loves them phone bags.
So, Triple X is basically just porn, right? Like she's internet porn.
Yeah,
she is the represent. Her powers come from the carnal desires of man.
Exactly.
And since the invention of the internet, she has grown more powerful with each passing day. And I think because they were able to create Robin, this is because during this whole movie, I didn't get what, other than Robin not needing to wear a helmet to go on the internet, I didn't know what made her so special. And I think what made her special was she could do that, which means Triple X could also do that.
But not until, like, it was, my understanding was the scientist that basically made Robin
died.
Yeah, but he's
murdered.
Yeah, he was working on some sort of device that would be able to take physical matter, upload it as like a digital code, and then recreate the physical matter.
Okay.
And
so it was like an ultra scientific 3D printer. It was an organic 3D printer.
Exactly. And it showed him kind of doing an experiment, and the experiment failed. But when it failed, something happened to where an embryo just spawned out of nowhere. So this MFO waited 9 months to basically give birth to a baby.
Yeah.
In a sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a pleasant joke there about
about how he was like, I definitely can't handle being pregnant.
I know, so stupid.
I did think so they had like this short tech guy.
Yeah.
Who's like Triple X tried to seduce him, and he's just like, I've never been. He was gay without saying he was gay. He was like, I've never really had much of an interest in women. I was like,
But what I was going to say is, I think Triple X needed that device to manifest in the real
nobody
world.
could do it without being killed. That's right. You're right. Nobody could figure out how to get a person out of cyberspace without them just being dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So Robin's just trying to live her life and be a virtual DJ in a virtual club.
Yep.
Which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Why can't she? Like, this is my problem with the premise of this show. The real world, you can do all these things in the real world. When you put on your virtual reality helmet, you look exactly how you look in the real world, right?
Yeah.
So why not just go out to a regular club? Like, why go through all these extra steps?
I took it as, like in Ready Player One.
Right.
The virtual world is like where everybody goes for everything. That's where jobs are. That's where kids go to school at, stuff like that. So everyone's always plugged in. I just assumed, because they do not do a very good job of explaining things in this show.
There's zero world building.
You just kind of come up with what you think is happening.
Yeah.
And I think it's like that. I think everybody is logging onto these virtual worlds to do everything. You know, no one goes to physical clubs anymore. It's all online and things like that.
Okay. So COVID took over in this reality. We're on lockdown forever.
Yep. And some mad scientists made a VR set
sold it to everybody.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that short bald man is Mark Zuckerberg. The metaverse worked. That's what this is. No wonder I thought it was so stupid.
I did. There was a lot of things like plot holes and stuff like that in this. Like the whole fact that Robin meets Brenda. So like when Robin meets Brenda Plump, Brenda is talking about opening the first ever virtual nightclub, right?
Right.
but they are in a club. They are at a bar. And I was just sitting there, I was like, but you're in a club, there's dancing, there's a DJ here, there's a bar, like this is a virtual
That's what
club.
I mean. Like,
what is happening?
What is the allure of going to the digital club?
Unless I was a physical club and I was like, that's the thing. This show does not do a good job with pacing and things like that with the explanation. I don't know if they're in the virtual world or if they're in the real world most of the time. It's so confusing.
And then she has her crop top clad guy friend who gets immediately tricked by Triple X.
Oh, immediately. Triple X just throws that booty at him.
Oh, literally.
Yeah.
Like, that's not even you trying to be funny. She literally grinds on him like a stripper.
And blows like some sort of drug in his face too.
That she can fire the cigarette like a gun.
It's wild.
Because this whole pilot's like an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But my favorite part is where like one of the guys breaks into the new club where Robin's trying to DJ, and he's just like, it's trying to get people to go over to Decadence, which is Triple X's sex pit, porn
hedonism club.
Hedonism. It's her Pornhub, right? Play the sound that Pornhub makes. Make everyone nervous if you're listening to this on speakers. And then people are like, "Whoa, no, I swear I'm listening to a podcast." I'll listen to a YouTuber who randomly does that. But
that's
okay,
hilarious.
we're getting off topic. So, but when he sees her, because she's got a special tattoo, he goes, "It's the bitch."
Yeah, like the bitch.
And then he goes back to Triple X. He's like, "I found that bitch for you, boss."
Yeah. Just referring to her as a bitch.
So Robin has to go back. She gets picked up by that Roger Rabbit knockoff.
Well, it's because like when she was a kid in the nursery, because her
the robo
dad,
nurse.
Yeah. Like the robo nurse, that boobs come down for the laptop. Weird, first off, but like she's got this like fantasy of this cottage is going to be like
it's like
home.
A candy cottage, home with parents.
What Triple X is trying to trick her by showing her this cottage, and then she like falls into like cyberspace.
That's right.
And then Roger Rabbit.
That's where they meet the Dreamweavers.
And that's okay. That's the thing. You're going to have characters like the Dreamweavers, which
so this is what I kind of gathered. It's wholesomeness versus porn.
Yes. That's why
because
I got good versus evil in a sense.
They're all cutesy little like Smurf looking dudes.
They look like Star Kids.
They do look like the Star Kids. They're like rejected Star Kids designs.
Yeah.
Except for the rabbit. The rabbit is just like he's Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
He's a cartoon rabbit in a fucking leisure suit, Larry suit, you know?
He makes a comment to Robin, like almost a sexual comment to her.
He makes several throughout the movie. So, yada, yada, yada. Basically, Triple X gets out while the Dreamweavers are training Robin to be like Neo from the Matrix.
And this is where Reed, the guy Robin's love interest.
Yeah.
He's like, I must save Robin. And Triple X disguises herself as Robin.
That's right.
And he is just like, "You're not Robin." And Triple X basically explains it's the whole like, "No, I'm trying to save her from the Dreamweavers."
It's the double bluff. Yeah.
And she is like, "But I need your help." And then she transforms back into Robin. And she's just like, "Why don't you help me, big boy?" And then they basically just fuck.
Yeah, then they bang, and you're like, "Wait a second here,
Like,
that's not okay."
What is happening? It's like every scene in this cartoon, I am like, what is going on?
Yeah, it is. So they describe this as a Ralph Banksy like knockoff.
Okay.
And it is in like all the worst ways a Ralph Banksy movie is what it is. That's what Robin in the Dream. It's like every way you can do this kind of adult entertainment wrong, they picked.
And the best part, don't want to call it the best part, but it's like they are kind of leading up to the big battle between Robin and Triple X this whole time.
Right.
Reed finds out that he's been tricked, basically helps Triple X manifest herself in the real world.
And causes everybody to start sucking and literally.
It is so
sucking
like
and fucking.
The whole time they don't show anything. And even the backgrounds, I don't know if you paid attention to the backgrounds. The backgrounds are pretty sexual as well.
I mean, they do show some boobs.
Well, that's what I'm talking
and
about.
Like a guy some chicks like sucking some pain in the background.
At the end, because like what Triple X basically kills Robin in cyberspace, then she comes to the real world. She takes Reed as her like little gimp slave.
Yeah.
And then Robin basically gets visited by her dad.
The ghost of her dad's hardware who merges with her.
Yeah, something
brings
weird.
Her back to life.
Brings her back to life. But she then exits cyberspace. And you just see Triple X has basically turned the entire city into an orgy fest. Yeah. Though basically all naked. Like at this point, they haven't shown anything, but this is where they're just like, okay, this is where we get to draw our cartoon boobies now. Funniest
they
thing.
Were all excited in the office that day.
Yeah, boobies!
Finally.
But you go back, watch Reed. Reed is like, there's a fountain that Reed is chained up to. And it's just a giant dick.
Oh, it is a giant dick, isn't it?
It is
not?
A giant
That's pretty
dick.
Great.
And I'm like, what is... At this point, like, I thought I was going to be surprised, but I'm still surprised. I'm like, this is wild.
Nothing is surprising about how unapologetically, like, bad this truly is. Like, how off the wall. Brenda Plump eventually helps all the cyber people. Escape because Robin's like, we're all gonna die. And they're like, you can leave anytime you want. They're like, well, we're gonna die. And they were like, don't worry, you gotta save the world, I guess, from everybody sucking and fucking themselves to death. Yeah. I don't really know what the plan for Triple X is. Because she's like, I just want people to succumb to their true carnal desires. But it's like, do you want to rule the world as like a giant orgy?
She is the creator of OnlyFans. That's it.
That monster. Or savior, depending on your feelings on OnlyFans.
but it really does, like, there's this battle between them. The Dreamweavers are now in the real world. They help defeat Triple X by sucking her back into cyberspace, in a sense. They use
but first they show that she's a butterface.
Oh, but they really don't.
Well, they show that, but they're like, "Oh my god,
Yeah,
she's
like-
ugly."
Yeah, like
That
someone
somehow-
takes off her mask.
and then she turns into Dr. Octopus.
Yes. And does a wardrobe
Onyx-
change.
Yeah, in the middle of it, explains nothing, but
No.
still shows that cleave because you gotta show off them goods just
Yeah.
because you're evil. And then she does get sucked back to cyberspace, and they're like, we all got to go back to cyberspace too, including you, Robin.
Yep.
And
To
they
help-
do.
To help
because-
prepare for the return of Triple X.
Yeah. Well, porn is never really truly going to be off of the internet, so they
No.
knew.
Yeah,
So-
but like the whole thing was, you remember the speech Robin gives, like before they reveal her face, and she's just like, "Don't you see? She is she is feeding off of your desires and this
your desires and your addiction." There was like a small at the epilogue of like Reed or whatever his name is just like, I was so blind. I was so addicted to feeling good. Like it was like a weird like drug PSA at the end. And Robin's like, it's okay. You can never see it when it happens to yourself. That's why you have to surround yourself by people who care about you so they can help you like overcome your addiction. And I'm like, where did that part come from?
And then you see basically Robin gets the cottage. Her dad is in cyberspace now.
And the one short bald gay man who is in charge of computers, Sassy Zuck.
What was
He's
it?
like
Nelson.
His name was Nelson. He's like, I'm back and I'm gonna be evil and gayer than ever.
And it ends.
And it ends because it's a pilot. Because they thought, for some reason, they thought they were gonna make more of these.
And I keep going. Maybe it's the style of animation that they did, because I mean we've covered.
Yes, that is. Keep going, but yes,
we've covered adult animated stuff, rock and roll. They have a different feel in the animation.
You know what this looks like?
What?
It looked like Gem and the holograms.
It did.
And I think that's what threw me off. And it had music. It had like weird, like, you know how like these 80s shows like G.I. Joe, Transformers, Gem and the Holograms, Bionic 6, all of them have like these like background music that's like supposed to tell you the theme. And you know what kind of music I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And like this has that. And you don't really have that with your more mature stuff. And it looked too much like a Saturday morning cartoon to give you the feel of the subject matter. Not to mention, this fucking thing is all over the place. Tonally.
It is so bad.
You can't go from a suck and fuck orgy to a wholesome reuniting with your dad. It will do something to your brain that is probably going to take me a while to recover from.
No one wants to see Jim in the hologram that adult in that style. I mean, you are correct. It's so weird. It is like, hey, here's all these adult themes, but we're gonna tell the story like we do on a Saturday morning cartoon.
It's like drawing porn with crayons, you know? You gotta have the right supplies and style to do what you want.
Drawing hentai with crayons.
Yeah, drawing hentai with crayons. You know, it's like it doesn't. Yeah, you could do that, but it doesn't work. And this pilot, like, there's a reason that people say it's very off-putting, and I think it's because it looks like a Saturday morning cartoon. It's not styled correctly.
Yeah, no.
Like, it even has like the same style of animation as a 80s Saturday morning cartoon, and the feel of it, and it's just like, something in you, it just doesn't jive.
I don't think I mentioned this, but this came out in 2000.
Yeah, that's another thing. This looks horrible for
I know,
2000.
like I was just like, if you would have just shown me this, I would have been. This probably came out in the late 80s, early 90s at best.
This looks like
2000?
Yeah,
maybe because it's Dutch. Maybe they was a little behind the ball.
But yeah, that I think it's time to move to your new reoccurring segment. Reviews that are a dream come true and reviews that are a total nightmare.
Ooh, nice, Andrew. So
thank you.
This is sitting at a 4.7 out of 10.
Still a little too high. Out of many reviews?
Like 32.
Okay.
And
appropriate.
They don't have a lot of actual typed up reviews. They don't have any 1 stars. They don't have any 10 stars.
Okay.
I'm not going to read these reviews. There's only 2 written reviews, 1 of 3, 1 of 7, and they are both very lengthy. So, hey, you guys heard us talk about it. It is bad. So that's what we're going to leave it on.
Well, I believe that wraps up Robin and the Dreamweavers. Any closing thoughts, Joel?
Don't watch it.
Not even for a good laugh. Unless you got some buddies.
Okay, maybe if you get high, got some buddies, watch it. It is.
Yeah, take an edible, let it sit.
It is.
I could see that.
It's a wild ride, let me tell you. But yeah.
Maybe it makes sense if you're high.
I don't even think it will make sense if you're high, man.
Maybe not.
No.
Well, I believe that wraps up Robin and the Dreamweavers. If you'd like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/cartoondd. There we have a $5 tier that gets you stickers and pins mailed to your door. Access to our Discord, bonus episodes with extended audio. We have a website, cartoondumpsterdive.com, the best place to request an episode of your choosing. We have an X, handle CartoonDD. We are Cartoon Dumpster Dive on all other social media platforms. And as always, we appreciate a 5-star review on the podcasting platform of your choice so we don't end up robbing someone's dreams.
Ooh, nice.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your week.
See you. I don't know the sound, but okay.
Just look it up online later when you're editing.
Bam. Playing it now.
Playing it now.
This has been a Lughole podcast.